world is beautiful and vast, with so much to offer. So we decided to take a 10-day ambitious road trip. We started our trip in the beautiful Rocky Mountains of Alberta, Canada, and we made our way through the beautiful mountains of British Columbia. From there, we took a train to Washington, Seattle, where Starbucks was born, through Oregon State, where it's lush and green, in through Northern California, where you got some of the tallest trees in the world, lakes as blue as the eye can see, with views that can inspire you. Going south through the Golden State, where some of the most innovative bridges were born, sunsets that could take your breath away, and taking some of the gorgeous coast drives on our way to LA, where the sun is always shining. The world is our oyster, and we just have to explore it. Hell yeah. Goodbye, Toronto Pearson. Hello, Calgary, Alberta. Okay, so a pretty ambitious trip, 10 days starting in Alberta, moving to British Columbia, and going all the way down the coast to beautiful California. I just wanted to record this because last time I couldn't. This is a dry spot in Calgary Airport. Crazy.
Attention, do not cross. Attention, ne pas traverser.
That's wild. So, I'm more advanced here. Bless ya. Leaving the airport on the travels. And he's already sick. Okay, facts. So Calgary is cold. I've been there and it is cold. Calgary can reach temperatures as low as 45 degrees Celsius or even 49 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans out there. And speaking of cold, Calgary was actually the first to host the Winter Olympics in 1988. And this is across Canada. And you can kind of see why with all the beautiful landscaping. Interesting thing about Alberta is you don't actually pay a provincial tax, only a federal, which is only 5%. You have some provinces, you get charged about 13% on tax, which is kind of a nice thing. If you're a CFL fan, it's home to the Calgary Stampedes, and if you're an NHL fan, it's the Calgary Flames. For you bikers out there, and by that I mean mountain bikers. Now, I don't know about you, but I love mountain biking, and you'll be happy to know that there's a large network of bike trails out there of some 550 kilometers. So our next stop is Canmore, not Canmore, and I make that mistake a lot. The Winter Olympics once played here, and if you haven't tried it yet, I highly recommend cross-country skiing. Amazing. Canmore. That's crazy. In the clouds. We made it. We made it, right in? We made it. Next stop, good old Banff. Now just for some perspective, Calgary to Jasper is about 430 kilometers, so it's about 6 hours. Calgary to Banff is about 140 kilometers, it's about 2 hours long. And by golly, the views. It's a view.
Oh, you could
Look at the nature-esque.
It goes all the way down to Banff Springs Hotel.
Banff Springs.
Yeah.
Right in the horizon there. Beautiful. Tunnel Mountain.
On the mountains. It's starting to snow a little bit here.
It is starting to snow.
Nathan is recording at the same time I'm recording, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah, but my camera's better, so.
Stop it. This place is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's literally snowing right now. Tunnel Mountain. Okay, quick fact. They wanted to put a train through this mountain and lay tracks by blasting a hole in it, but that plan didn't fall through. It was too expensive, but they kept the name Tunnel Mountain. It is snowing. A nice light snow. But it is snowing. Tunnel Mountain.
Yeah, pretty cool. It's like right in the little
Section of proposing. Bike riding everywhere.
I'm gonna interrupt his videotaping.
She's getting in my view here. Okay, so now we're heading over to the Banff Springs, which is pretty much run by Fairmont, and they tend to have their hands on all the castle real estate. And it is a real special place. The neat thing about Banff is you can be driving around, you can just see something really majestic, like the deer on the right side of the corner, eating a 4-course meal and not being bothered by anybody. That's crazy. Deer.
They're so like, how are they that domesticated?
Okay, so the Banff Spring Hotel on our left here, as you can see, is a beautiful castle. This was actually built in 1888. There's a bunch of tales about like being haunted and such, like about the haunted rooms, the bride, the bellman. If you love hot tubs like we do, then you could probably really appreciate a place called Banff Upper Springs, which has natural reoccurring mineralized thermal waters, which basically means you have natural hot water and it's gonna feel delightful. Now, Banff Springs have had some serious celebrities. They had people like Marilyn Monroe, Alfred Hitchcock, John F. Kennedy, Obama, the royal family. This is a pretty prestige place, and it's got a lot of history. If you do get a chance, just take a walk through Banff Springs. There's so many different rooms and places to explore. There is a room in the Banff Springs Hotel which is dedicated to history, and it's actually really interesting. If you do get a chance, check it out. You can walk through this whole area of Banff Springs Hotel. This is a very big hotel. It's very beautiful. Tons of corridors, just like the old castles would have. There's a lot of cool things you can find going through this corridor, like stores to shop around. They have great dining rooms. They have great cafes. They have live bands, which is fantastic. If you like spas, they have a spa there at the Spa Fairmont. They have mineralized pools, hot tubs, saunas, steam rooms, hot tubs outside, which you could do while looking up at the stars.
We were gonna go on the gondola ride. You have to adjust it down because I'm too small to get me in the frame. We were gonna go on the gondola ride, but it's too cloudy up there and too dark, so you won't be able to see anything. So we are going to head to Lake Louise. We head to Lake Louise and then go to Jasper.
If you haven't seen Lake Louise, wow, you're in for a treat. It's a glacier lake. You get the nice turquoise water, and that comes off the rock floor of the glacier and also gives you a nice mirror-like effect. Lake Louise was named after Princess Louise Caroline Albert, which is one of the daughters of Queen Victoria. It also houses the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise, which is another beautiful castle, and it also connects Moray Lake and Lake Agnes, which is also two very beautiful spots you should check out. Just bear in mind, in the winter season, sometimes these accesses are closed due to extreme weather conditions, possible avalanches. well. You made it.
We made it. It's not the same as when we came in the winter, but there is snow on the ground. But we can actually drive through it.
Quite beautiful.
It's very sad. The reflection is very strong and beautiful.
Okay, so here we are in Lake Louise. This is the Fairmont Chateau, Lake Louise. Beautiful hotel. It's built like a castle. It's not quite a castle like Banff Springs, but this one pretty much resembles one. Now while you're here, maybe in the winter, if you love skiing, they definitely have a ski resort here. The cross-country skiing is also something I might recommend, which I have recommended before. You can also do boating, like canoeing and such on the lake, biking, hiking. There's a great trail called the Fairview Lookout. It gives you an amazing view of Chateau Lake Louise from the top. Now, if you're fortunate enough to come here in the winter, you can actually walk over Lake Louise over frozen water. Now, the restaurant here is actually quite pristine. You get a beautiful view of the lake while you're perhaps having your hot cocoa or your coffee. Here you'll have a few vendors you can walk into in terms of stores. Not as much as Banff Springs, but it's definitely worth the walk. If you get a chance, take a stroll and have a gander. So beautiful. So beautiful. All right, off the ice fields. Little stop off. So vast. Those mountains, that's crazy. Look at the size of this guy. He's huge. Look at him. He's following us.
Traffic laws, the alert and news voice commands while driving.
Raven. That's huge.
They're all
Massive. That bird's massive.
so heavy that they can't fly very high.
Crazy. Look at this. Unreal. Crazy. Right through that pass. That's where we came from. Next stop, Columbian Ice Fields. This is the Athabasca Glacier, so it's one of 6 principal toes of the Columbian Ice Fields. This is basically the midpoint between Alberta and British Columbia if there was a mountain in between. And around this glacier, it can get a little nippy. Here at the ice fields. Center glacier right down the center there. And it is awfully cold. Raven sitting on that post. Hey, cold, eh? It's warm out here. What do you think? Truck going up to the ice fields. So our last stop is Jasper. That's where we're staying for the night. Just a little history on Jasper. It's 1907, the government actually protected that area called the Jasper National Park. Basically, the cool thing with Jasper is if you're an astronomer or love astronomy like I do, then you should know it's got a dark sky preserve, and that was put in place in 2011. It's basically in place to help preserve the night sky to eliminate light pollution greater than the moonlight light. If you're into astronomy, you already know that light pollution is a huge effect on how well you can see the stars. So if you do end up in Jasper, make sure you take a look at the stars if you get a chance at night. And if you get it just right, you might actually get lucky and see the northern lights. Otherwise, Jasper is a very beautiful little quaint town, especially if you want to get some quiet and take in all the sights in nature. Signing out from Jasper.